I went to a local comic show today and I picked up just 12 comic books. Taking it easy. Let's see what I picked up next on this video from Bronzeville Comics. Hey there, panelologists. This is Jim from Bronzeville Comics coming to you with another video. Before we get started, please like, comment, subscribe. I appreciate all the support that you viewers have given to this channel. I've been doing it for 2 years now, and we're already over 4,300 subscribers. We still have a couple of people who haven't claimed their 4,000 subscriber giveaway, so give a watch on that video and see if you won. And if you did, just reach out to me via email. There is a email in my description of this video. There's also a link to my eBay store and a link to Whatnot. If you're not yet signed up there, you can sign up and get $10 off your first purchase. It doesn't have to be with me. And so I do Whatnot sales every Monday night at 10 p.m. Eastern Time. Follow me on Whatnot at Bronzeville_comics and also Instagram at Bronzeville_comics. And let's get on with this video. So before we get into the comic show haul, I'm going to open up a package. And I've been purposely kind of cutting down on the books I've been buying. Trying to focus a little bit more on the selling and the grading. And trying to pick up, we're kind of entering flea market and garage sale season, so trying to pick up books at good prices there, and I've had some success if you've been watching the channel very recently in flea markets and yard sales. So this is a book, I think this is an eBay purchase. Yeah, that's an eBay purchase. Every once in a while I just check eBay new listings, and unless the new listings are completely swamped by listings from my comic shop, I look to see if there's a deal. And I kind of have to sometimes just steel myself and say it's a good price, but it's not a steal. I want a really good value. I don't want to pay just a little bit below fair market value. I want to kind of pay half of fair market value, especially I might pay up a little bit if it's a book I think I can get graded. And this was a book that I have copies of. I'm always looking to upgrade, and I'm speculating on this particular character. It's a first appearance, and shockingly, it's the first appearance of a DC character. You know how we roll here on the Bronzeville Comics channel. I buy Marvel as well, and independent. But I am, first and foremost, a DC fan. So I got this for 25 bucks. And take a look at the condition in person. It's a book that I bought several times in the past. And it does look pretty nice. It is Doorway to Nightmare #1, the first appearance of Madame Xanadu. Of course, Madame Xanadu has been linked to Justice League Dark, and I'm kind of speculating on Justice League Dark characters. So I want to take a little bit closer look at this book. It does need a press. It does have a lot of pressable defects, but the spine looks good because it's got that white overwrap. Oh, the back cover looks really good. This is a pretty high-grade copy. This is definitely in the 9s with a press. I mean, it's got a little bit of a bindery chip in the corner there. But we'll see. Maybe a little bit of an indentation on her forehead. It's hard to see right there. So this definitely is going to go into my clean and press pile. I have like 3 short boxes of clean and press books. So the if you've watched my videos before, I did a video on organizing new books, which is with collections or when I go to flea markets or shows or whatever, and it's slab, spec, sell, save. slab? Is it worth getting slabbed? And that's a whole process. What do we think the approximate grade is going to be? What is the value in a slab? What is the potential future value in a slab? Spec, and this kind of qualifies for spec too, because I wouldn't sell this book right away raw, necessarily, because I think there is some speculation the character could come to the DCU when that finally gets rolling. And all the folks that have been speculating on Marvel for years, you know, heck, the where was I? What did I? I'm just trying to figure out where I bought stuff. No, this was... Oh, okay, I see. Oh, these were there. Okay, I'm just going through the books I bought from the show to figure out who I bought from what. Or what I bought from who. So, yeah, that's... You know, is it going to be in the personal collection? Actually, I can move the microphone now. Is it going to be in the personal collection? That's to save, and to sell is something. Not so much that I would buy at a show or buy off eBay, unless I think it was a really great eBay deal. That is something that we're going to take a look at. So I'll talk about that as I go through this. And there is intersectionality in those. There are books that I want to slab and keep in the personal collection, especially books that I'm kind of chasing in a 9.8, because I do want to build my personal collection with value, and especially for books from the 1980 on, let's say, I'm pretty much looking for 9.8s if I can get them, but I want to find raw books that I can submit myself. That's kind of you know, the way I'm approaching it right now. So I went to the Clifton show today, and it was kind of smaller than usual. I think it was a beautiful day here, especially after the smoke cloud that came through the Northeast on Wednesday. The weekend was beautiful. It was like 80 degrees and sunny today. So I went in the morning, and I think some people were skipping that. It's the last show of the season. There are no shows in the summer. So it was kind of quiet. So like the first guy I saw was Steve from Elite Comic Sales, and we were just talking, and he had some Michael Turner books that I just bought a handful of these. And these are going to go, the Fathoms are going to go in the spec pile, because there has been some news that they may be developing these properties. So, and I potentially, I got to dig further to see if there are 9.8 values in some of these books. But I just picked those up. I've been picking up some Turner covers. And, you know, you talk about the Good Girl art, which Michael Turner was an expert at. And it's kind of weird to see which covers have value and which ones don't, and I'm never sure why that is necessarily. Then I picked up two other books from him. One kind of fits into that, but it's a book that I've been looking to get recently. I wasn't even really aware of it, because it's a book that I collected, a run that I collected, but this was a variant cover. It's a 1 in 10. And it is from 2010. It is Legion of Superheroes 1 in 10, the Saturn Girl Jim Lee cover. This is a really nice copy. This book is well over $200 in a 9.8. So this is kind of going into the slab save. I'm going to put it with Madame Xanadu in the to get cleaned and pressed and graded. And then I also look for specifically Copper Age books that I think might have a shot at a 9.8. And I had done a video on underrated DC books. This kind of just missed the mark, because it is kind of a DC book, but it is X-Men Teen Titans, this wonderful Walt Simonson cover. I have some high-grade copies of this, chasing a 9.8 in that. And of course, in chasing a 9.8, if you get one, why not try to get more? Because then you can sell them. You can keep one for the personal collection. Then I went over to Panther Comics, and we were chatting for a while, and I picked up a Legion Adventure Comics that I needed. This is a pretty sharp copy. It does have a little bit of spine wear, and a spine roll, but you know, if I wanted to, a press would get that out. This is a PC book. This is a save because this is going in the PC. I'm pretty sure I need this issue. I have to get a little more on top of my record keeping, and that's kind of a summer project. So that goes into the save pile. And if I have more than one copy, then I could just kind of compare and keep the higher grade one. And then I didn't do a lot of digging. You know, I only got a dozen issues, a dozen books, and I was kind of looking. This is a book that I am chasing a 9.8 in. I've gotten 9.6s, and there is an enormous difference in value between a 9.6 and a 9.8. And it's not that difficult to get a 9.8, but it's not that easy either. And I was kind of looking at different issues, and you know, I'll take a closer look at this, but I would love to get this in 9.8. It's Simpsons Comics and Stories, issue number 1. It actually is the only issue for Simpsons in comic books. And a 9.6, according to Go Collect, a 9.6 has a fair market value of $80. A 9.8 has a fair market value of $525. And the last sale, there was a sale in there was an agreed upon sale. I have to best offer accepted listing of $495. And then, is this right? There was a sale in May of a 9.8 white pager for $817 for this book. I mean, you know, you're talking about probably a 6 times multiplier from 9.6 to 9.8. These come because of their era. They're very common in the 9s, but the 9.8 is the least common of the 9s. Only about 12.5% of the population got a 9.8, so that's something I'm chasing. It wasn't a poly bag, so you do have to press it right. Then I went to one more vendor. He had some $5 bins, and I was just kind of digging through there. Nothing spectacular. I picked up, well, a super spectacular 100-pager, World's Finest, that I don't think I had. Again, I got to get better at organizing everything. And then 2 copies of Marvel Now .1 number 1. He had a bunch of these. They were this was a good pickup for $5, and I kind of did a quick look at the mintiest. Not sure this is worth getting slabbed even in a 9.8 at this point. It is the first cover appearance of America Chavez and her first appearance in the 616 continuity. We haven't heard a whisper about her since Multiverse Madness, but I would have to imagine that we're going to see her again. I thought the actress did a great job in the character. And then I had a bunch of half-price books. This is a book I've been looking for. It's lower grade than what I would like, and it is Superboy number 89. This is the first appearance of Mon-El, who came to Earth in I think a Kryptonian rocket ship, had the same powers as Superboy. Superboy thought it was his long-lost brother, but it turns out that he was from another planet that developed similar powers to Superman, but their weakness is lead rather than kryptonite, and since lead is plentiful on Earth, he got thrown in the Phantom Zone for 1,000 years before Brainiac 5 discovered a cure, and let him out, and he joined the Legion of Superheroes. And he's been a character. He had his own series when he was called Valor in the 90s. He took over the mantle from Superman around 2010 for a while. It was a character that was a recurring character for a season or 2 on Supergirl. And I am trying to get the Legion first appearances. I think I'm pretty close. That was one of the ones I needed. I might need Starboy and the first one, the first appearance of the Legion, which is the first appearances of Saturn Girl, Lightning Lad, and Cosmic Boy. But I do have the second appearance, and I have that Action Comics with Supergirl on the cover. There's Brainiac 5 and a bunch of other characters. So the Legion, and I probably should do a video on this. For those of you that are unfamiliar, the Legion was the first superhero team of the Silver Age. And they were connected to Superboy. Basically, they had been inspired by Superboy, who became a superhero as a teenager. They were teenagers, had powers, decided to use them 1,000 years in the future. So originally they were in the 30th century, and then they transitioned to the 31st century. They had a long run as a backup and then as the main feature in Adventure Comics, and had a large mythology. They disappeared from Adventure Comics, kind of were infrequent backup in Action Comics before they became part of the Superboy title and eventually took that title over. And in the 1980s, the Legion of Superheroes was one of DC's strongest selling titles, to the point where they got, along with New Teen Titans, they got their own prestige format series, which was not on the newsstand, direct to comic shops. And there were some great stories. The Great Darkness Saga is one of my all-time favorite stories that I read as it was coming out. Paul Levitz wrote it. Keith Giffen did the art. And the Legion really, I think, it had its heyday in the 60s and then again in the 80s. Since Crisis on Infinite Earths, DC never seems to be able to be sure what to do with the characters long term. But I believe that there is possibility for those characters in the DCU. There was a recent animated movie, but that doesn't really move the needle too much in the comic market. But I'm a big believer in the Legion of Superheroes. And since I've been a fan, I collect Adventure Comics, I want to try to get all the first appearances. One of my eventual grails is Adventure 247, the first appearance of the Legion of Superheroes. So that would be a fun book to get, but that's probably going to be like the icing on the cherry when I get all the cheaper back issues of other Adventure Comics runs and other Legion appearances. So that is a little bit of a haul from Clifton. The Superboy book is going to be a save book until I can upgrade it potentially. I just thought it was sitting there. The price was good, and it's a book I've been looking for. I tend to like books, even my Silver Age books, on a little bit higher grade. I'm a little bit of a grade snob. And I did pass on a few books today because of that. So, I can be patient with those books. I don't need to get them all right away. So, that is the haul for today. A pretty small haul, but it's always fun to go to the Clifton show. Ran into Erod there and we were chatting. Some other people, friends of the channel, that said hello, and dealers that I see frequently. So it's just always good to get out there and talk comic books, have folks with common interests that, you all share like the same language. And, always fun to go to a show. And here in the Northeast, you can get to a show almost every weekend in the tri-state area. Whether it's in New Jersey, Long Island, Connecticut, New York City. Always places to get comic books, and I know that's not true for everybody, especially if you're not in the U.S. or you're in a less densely populated area. It's harder to, come in personal contact with a large number of comic books for sale. So I appreciate you stopping by and watching the channel. You can take a look at a couple of my other videos here, and this is Jim saying until next time, enjoy your comics.